In this video, we're going to have a look at some buttons. This is the simplest type of button there is. It's called a momentary button, and it's only got two legs. This is the symbol for this button. I've got a breadboard here, and I've mounted these two pieces of header here just so that I can latch my multimeter to it. It might be more appropriate to use this symbol to identify this button. It's got two legs, and you can see here labelled pin 1 and pin 2 against pin 1 and pin 2. This symbol is more of a symbol that's used for momentary buttons. But check out this button here. This is a very common type of momentary button, and it's used in hundreds, thousands, millions of different types of products. This is a very typical four-legged momentary button. And it's very similar to that other button in that even though it's got four legs, it's only got two connectors. If I take this button and put it across my breadboard, you can see that it stretches across the middle in a very exact kind of way. And in fact, it only fits one way. This is the way that you can see that the button is directional. See here, the button doesn't fit. You can see here that that button doesn't fit the wrong way. It only fits one way. I'm going to hook up one of my test probes to this leg here. And watch what happens if I touch the other leg. See, there's continuity there all the time, whether I press the button or not. But on these two pins here, you can see that it acts like a button. So you see, it might be more correct to think of this button like this, where you've got four pins and two of the pins are connected. Just like in the other button, across pin 1 and 2, you've got a button between 1 and 2. Just like the other button, across pin 1 and 2, you've got a button across pin 1 and 2. But you can see that pin 1 and 3 are connected. So I would say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got a button between 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. And pins 1 and 3 are connected, and 2 and 4 are connected. These types of buttons are called single pole, single throw buttons. Okay, so have a look at this limit switch. I've got my test probe hooked up to the pin that's in common here. And if I hook up the other end of my test probe to this middle pin, and if I press the button, it works like a normal switch. That is, off when the button's not pressed, and on when the button is pressed, just like the other button. But if I connect my test probe to the far pin, the continuity indicator stays on all the time, and when I press the button, it turns off. One is the opposite of the other. Okay, that's getting a bit annoying now, so I'm going to stop it. If I turn that button upside down, we can look at the markings on this little limit switch. You can see here there's a C, that means common. That is the pin that's in common. And O stands for normally open. And well, we saw how that worked. And this one here, it's got NC stamped on it. That stands for normally closed. So here we've got a pin that's in common, a normally open position, and a normally closed position. That makes this switch a single pole double throw switch.